Capricorn. This is your reading for the week of March 16th, or when you hear it and it resonates. I think you might be pleased with this one. Capricorn, the first card that I pull is forgiveness. But then the second card that I accidentally pulled from the same pack was the pleasure card. Then you get grace, and then you get take a break from trying to fix everything. So my feelings on this as I'm reading these cards is I'm getting in touch with your energy. And I'm moving immediately to your heart as I do that. And what I'm feeling, I'm feeling some conflict there, my dears. And what I'm feeling is this desire to forgive and to really let go of blaming or wanting to punish or anything like that. And that it's genuinely what you would like to do in your heart, and you're not quite sure how to navigate that. So two things that immediately follow that are the reason we forgive is not for anybody else, it's for ourselves. That's not entirely true, because energetically, when we forgive somebody, we are also clearing the airwaves between us and them. So if we are still in relationship with this person, what it does is it creates the space for an open dialogue. And what's coming to mind is a part of a quote from Rumi. And it is, I'm paraphrasing, something to the effect of out beyond right and wrong, there is a field, I will meet you there, or there is a meadow, or something of that nature. But basically what it's really talking about for me, and what this specific spread is talking about for you, is that forgiveness is a choice. That it is something that is, when we start checking into the reasons why we can't forgive, what we're really doing is we're giving our brain the opportunity to change its wiring. When we think about how we think, it starts changing the wiring of our brain. I just listened to a really beautiful little short spread on metacognition, and that's really worth looking into. If you ever question why, it's worth the effort of looking at what your motivations are for the kinds of thoughts that you have. But even better than that, what this is telling me is your pleasure is not far away. That we can have the same kind of relationship to relationships. We can have the same kind of connection or attachment to relationships and modes of behavior towards relationships that are based in the same kind of struggle that we might have with money, health, any of those things. It's the attitude of struggle. And what they're saying is, when you can really operate with a full smile, when you have an open heart, your ability to experience pleasure is greater. And when we are operating from a state of pleasure, genuine heartfelt pleasure, that actually is more productive. We are more productive in that state. We have much more information coming to us from group conscious mind, from the ethers, from our intuition, however you want to say it. And we have the ability to be light. When we are not forgiving, what we are doing is we are contracting around an idea about somebody or something, and we are in resistance to whoever they are or who they were. So what you're being asked here is, we know that being in resistance mentally, psychologically, is not energetically good for your body. And it doesn't tend to leave you open to see better things, because that acts as kind of a filter, right? So if Capricorn, you have had the tendency to be unable to forgive, and forgive can be something as simple as just choosing not to think about it anymore, letting it go, and not feeding it with why did they or they should have. Sometimes it can be that simple. Just choosing to not regurgitate it and go over it again. You're being told, as you're trying to get out of that mindset and into more of that open heart, you have the grace card. Lean into grace. There we go. So, grace has a smooth, easy, peaceful, supportive quality to it. But more than that, grace is about flow, it's about abundance, it's about a divine benevolence, a sacred offering of peace in your heart that is there and available for everybody. By asking for it, what we do is we unconsciously allow ourselves to tune into that frequency and allow it to run through our body in a way that is transformative. this is really coming from them. And within that space, what you're also being told for now is this is not about you trying to figure things out. This is not about you working hard to perfect yourself. Even if it's something in terms of self-love or discipline or all of that, what they're really asking you to do is, where can you go to a place in your heart where you can allow grace to exist, and you can, from a place of good feeling, say, I am choosing to forgive. I am choosing to acknowledge whatever I need to acknowledge about myself. What am I learning about myself from my inability to forgive? That's your first place. That's the first place that you go to. This is you learning about you. And grace and compassion, the second card that you get is compassion. So it's not just compassion for them, it's compassion for yourself. Because if this is something you've been trying to do for a while and have been very frustrated by, it's time to have some compassion for yourself. Because, we hold on to those old things as a way of staying familiar to ourselves. I know that sounds crazy, but they just said it like that, so I'm putting it out there. I had not thought of it like that, or ever heard it put that way. So if it is about that, then it's ultimately hanging on to something that's negative because it is creating a feeling of safety for us. That is kind of cornerstone in there. So what are you afraid of? What are you afraid of when it comes to forgiveness? If you forgive, what's the worst possible case scenario? What's the best possible case scenario? What does it do to you? How does it make you feel? What does it bring up? Those are all possibilities. Now, I know ironically it says take a break from working on and making your life better, but this isn't so much this. The difference is you're not externally trying to make something better. You're staying within yourself to understand what's there that's coming up. That's very different than disciplining yourself to do something, to, go on a diet. This is basic, or go on a diet to do. This is use your senses, stay in your body, stay grounded. And which for a Capricorn, of course, is very, very important because it's an earth sign, because you're an earth sign. So allow yourselves, please, grace, compassion, forgiveness, stay in your body. Whatever kind of things you're learning or becoming aware of in your consciousness as you do this work, it's not about fixing yourself from the outside. It's about just discovery, self-discovery, curiosity, and looking. And when you do that, when you can do it from the inside, Capricorn, you are less concerned and less worried about what you need to fix externally to make your life feel better or look better. It really is an inside job. Okay, Capricorn? I'm going to leave you with that. Take care.